Welcome everyone, Adam Edwards, CEO of Telarus, for another edition of C2C. Today's chief is Chief Executive Officer of Airespring, Mr. Avi Lonstein. Avi, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here. Thank you, Adam.
So Avi, longtime partner and confidant, advisor of Telarus, we've exchanged insights, conversations throughout the changing world, and it's exciting for me now to bring some of this out in the open so our partners can share in it. So I want to jump in right away with your insights into how do you see managed services being impacted through the remainder of 2020? What does that look like?
Well, thanks, Adam, and really glad to be here. I can tell you that none of our planning at the end of last year prepared us for the events of 2020. My crystal ball really failed me this time, probably many others too. So what we're seeing now at a high level is that actually the economy is picking up in many sectors. We know that some sectors have actually seen a boost from COVID. However, there are segments of the economy that have been heavily impacted, and we've seen that with some of our own customers. That includes retail, hospitality, restaurants, and travel. And really, Adam, for these sectors, it's still very much a wait-and-see game as they work to get their operations back to pre-COVID levels. I think some are going to be able to restart their businesses, but sadly, there are going to be many who are not able to. Now, within our segment, obviously the move to a remote workforce, that's been massive. It's completely changed the way we work and has accelerated demand for technology that can support remote work. And therefore, obviously, we're seeing strong growth in cloud communication collaboration. We're also definitely seeing increased demand for security. IT teams now have to start thinking about expanding the perimeter of the security fence, so to speak, far beyond the traditional office space and bring it all the way out into team members' homes. And I think what we're really seeing is that IT resources are going to be stretched even thinner as this technology stack becomes more complex. So a managed services provider like Airespring, I think, helps companies unburden these tasks and let them focus on what they need to so they can run their business the way it needs to be run.
So you talked about IT being stretched. You talked about the perimeter going out to the home now. So there's even more to manage. Are you already seeing signs of that taking place? Are you already seeing customers asking those types of questions?
Absolutely. I mean, this is going to be key to the new thought process of how you build an IT stack. It's going to have to take into account the fact that really your most valuable resource, which is your team members, are no longer in a secured area. They're out anywhere, and frankly, they're working on computers that are not secure. So that whole thought process has to be reworked into the new sort of normal that we're working on here.
So then what does the future workplace look like?
So, well, what we've learned over the last 6 months, I think everyone's learned this, that it's entirely possible to work remotely, frankly, even 100% remotely. And we ourselves did not see any loss in productivity or communication. And so I think that lesson is not going to be lost on anyone. However, I personally do not agree with some pundits who believe that the office is doomed. I believe the office is going to be the place in the future where collaboration takes place. It's going to be there to create physical connections. And it's also going to act as a tool to ensure some boundaries exist between the work and the home so as to achieve a proper work-life balance. I think there are people who don't really want to be 100% in their home all the time. And so the office is going to play that role of splitting up that balance. So the new normal is going to transition from the office as the primary place of work to being just one of the locations for where work will be done. We're going to see work being done at the home, at the office, maybe at the Starbucks, and when travel returns on the road. So the big difference now is it's going to be far more hybrid than it's been in the past. Now, we do have to remember, Adam, that this is obviously not going to affect many parts of the economy which require direct servicing of consumers. such as hotels, restaurants, grocery chains, and manufacturing. But I think that for those that don't require physical presence, we're going to see this new hybrid environment as the new normal.
So with that environment, what do you think the opportunity is for partners in this environment to sell managed services?
Well, what we're going to be looking at here is any technology that, aids in this ability to do remote work, that's going to be in demand. And we've already seen that happen, right? So cloud communications and collaboration, clear winner, remote desktop, data center services. As I mentioned, managed security is going to be a big part of this as we expand out that security perimeter. The other thing I don't want to miss here is SD-WAN services. So what's going to happen here, and what I believe is already happening, is companies are going to want to modernize their outdated, legacy, costly MPLS networks, and they're going to need to implement a much more flexible WAN architecture. And in fact, we're actually seeing some customers are extending their SD-WAN services beyond the office and bringing it all the way to the home and putting those edge devices right at the home for security and management purposes. So keep your eye on SD-WAN because that's going to be a big play, and especially for companies that need to get more flexible, lower cost, it's going to be a big deal. But overall, Adam, what I would say is probably another trend that's going to be key is this concept of managed services. We are seeing that these IT departments at companies, at enterprises, they're getting increasingly burdened. And now the stack gets wider as to the number of services that they have to manage. So they're going to really want to utilize the expertise of a managed service provider like Airespring to take on the heavy lifting and make sure that their networks and services remain fully operational.
So, we've really grown up together. I mean, we've built these companies over the last almost 2 decades now. And
it's going a long time.
Yes, and the evolution, has been significant, especially as Airespring, as you've evolved through different product sets and different technologies. For those who have been tuned out or are new to Airespring, will you tell us the Airespring value proposition today?
Of course, and this is very near and dear to me. So, look, what we do is we fully integrate multiple services and technologies across a massive footprint in the U.S., and we now actually have gone global with capacity and availability across the globe. And what we do is we solve all the complexities of managing multiple services and technologies. We give our customers and partners a single vendor to rely on and communicate with, and we deliver this all as a high-touch service. Every customer at Airespring receives a dedicated engineer and a dedicated project manager to ensure that services are implemented absolutely flawlessly. We provide free 24/7 proactive network monitoring through our global NOC. And Adam, it's really all part of what we consider our white glove service. And we offer that white glove service to every customer, not just our largest. For those who've worked with us and for our partners that have worked with us, and we pride ourselves on being flexible, easy to do business with, ethical, trustworthy. And the bottom line is if something is not right, we are going to take responsibility and step up and fix it. But honestly, the part that I'm the most proud of about Airespring is what I call the Airespring advantage. And that really simply translates into our culture, which has always been and continues to be to treat our customers and our partners as our number one priority. We really strive for transparent communication, for quick responses, for rapid escalation, and for a focus on ensuring high satisfaction. And I think you'll agree with me that the positive feedback from the partner community over the last 20 years is a testament to our continuous focus on the basics.
We have seen that over the years, and some people sold long distance with you years and years ago. They'd probably be surprised to know you've really captured that market and do billions of minutes, but then advanced on to integrated circuits and then wide area. And some people just know you as the multi-point wide area network company now. And those who have continued to evolve with you, see these other services that you've added on. So depending on where they saw you in your evolution is kind of kind of the picture they formed. But tell us about some of the newest offerings that you're most excited about.
Thanks. Well, first of all, we have grown up over the years and expanded from a smaller product set to a very wide product set. Some of the things going on that I'm excited about at the moment is our relationship. We have a very strong relation with VeloCloud, which is now a part of VMware, and we have built an entire managed services stack of technology around a global managed SD-WAN solution. I'm sure many of you know that VeloCloud is a leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant, and their solution is extremely popular with our customers. We have VeloCloud gateways in all of our US data centers, and now we have them in 15 locations across the globe for our managed global SD-WAN solution. And so we're continuing to expand our SD-WAN services. We recently released the latest VeloCloud devices, and these devices have far higher capacity and throughput. We're also working very closely with VeloCloud to release several new services over the next year. I don't want to say too much about them yet, but they're going to be very exciting. I'm also really pleased to announce our new partnership with Fortinet, and they are another Gartner Magic Quadrant leader in security. Fortinet's unique combination of SD-WAN and security products are going to be a compelling proposition for customers. We're looking forward to meeting the needs of customers who are looking for a complete managed security suite based on Fortinet technology. I'm pretty excited about this one because I feel that Fortinet's extreme depth and strength in security is going to be of real benefit to our customers and partners. So look for that coming out in the next few months.
Fantastic. So security and SD-WAN, some great providers behind you, and Airespring, of course, plugging all those things together and managing them. So last question here. You've gone exclusively agents for years and years and years. You know the partners inside and out. You've seen some of them grow over time and do extremely well, and others maybe not so much. Time for a little advice. From your vantage point, what would you advise partners to be doing right now to be successful?
Well, that is a great question. And, Adam, we've both been in this business a long time now. I've actually been in the technology business for 30 years. And I can tell you that the technology has changed drastically in that time period. When I started out, we were selling long-distance phone service at 20 cents per minute. So clearly, we've come a long way. But I would say that my advice applies really across the board, whether you're a new partner, whether you're an established one. And that advice is really to be a trusted advisor for your customer. Now, in order to be a trusted advisor, the first thing you've got to do is you've got to understand the technology. You've got to have that technology down cold because it's changing all the time. And that means staying up to date, staying educated. In fact, here at Airespring, we've actually expanded our partner training and certification curriculum. We've been focusing on SD-WAN with a deep dive into SD-WAN technology for our partners, and we're going to soon be adding security training. So the first thing is get the technology down, and once you have that, it comes to ensuring that you honor the trust part of that term, trusted advisor. And you build that trust by communicating honestly with your customers. You cover the pros and cons of various technologies and vendors, and you help guide them through the technology and buying process. Further, one of the key things you got to remember is once you have the deal, it's important to maintain the relationship, staying in contact with customers for the long term and ensuring they remain satisfied. That's the best way to not only get repeat business, but also to keep the customers you have. So, Adam, what I would say at the end of the day, it comes down to the same basics that we instill in our culture here at Airespring, and that comes down to communication, responsiveness, honesty, trustworthiness, and you got to own those issues when they come up. And I got to tell you, it's been 30 years, and those values have not changed one drop in 30 years as to what creates success.
All right, so good advice. Partners, get educated. We've heard that before. Understand the technology to be a trusted advisor, be responsive, and then maintain your relationship, maintain contact with those customers so they stay customers and you can continue to upsell as obviously the technology evolves over time. So
Absolutely. And so, the good news is the advice that truly sticks is the advice that is timeless. And I think that sort of advice is going to be with us 30 years ago, today, and into the future, no matter what happens in our industry.
Well, good advice. Avi, we've hit our time limit. Before we sign off, any last words?
Well, Adam, we are just so appreciative of our long-term relationship with Telarus. We've, as you've said, have grown up together in this industry, and we're incredibly impressed by everything that you've put together there, the quality and commitment to the way you go and do business, the resources, and we just couldn't be more happy than to have this partnership with you, and we look forward to continuing to grow it.
As do we, Avi. We love the partnership and appreciate all you've done and continue to do for us and for Telarus partners. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Have a good one.